Made of 18-karat gold and standing nearly 15 inches tall, the modern FIFA World Cup trophy is estimated to cost around $250,000 in pure materials. Because of its immense value, physical contact with the hardware is heavily policed. Only a highly exclusive group of people are legally permitted to touch the metal with their bare hands, a list restricted to tournament-winning players, heads of state, and top FIFA officials. Even the athletes who win the tournament don't get to take the real prize home. When the confetti clears, the actual champions are handed a gold-plated bronze replica to keep for themselves. Almost immediately after the ceremony, the authentic trophy is whisked off the pitch and flown to Switzerland, where it is locked away in a permanent, highly secure vault at FIFA headquarters. This level of physical restriction and replica swapping isn't standard sports protocol. It's a policy dictated by a history of repeated thefts and the eventual total destruction of the prize this golden statue was built to replace. Before 1974, the ultimate prize in global football was the Jules Rimet Trophy. It held the same cultural weight as today's cup, but for decades it was kept in conditions that left it completely exposed. During World War II, the Italian official in charge of protecting the cup realized his bank vault was no match for the invading Nazi regime. To keep it safe, he secretly removed the trophy and hid it inside an old shoebox, shoving it under his own bed for the duration of the war. 2 decades later, the security hadn't improved. 4 months before the 1966 World Cup in England, thieves snatched the trophy right out of a public exhibition at Westminster Central Hall. Scotland Yard scoured the country, but the cup was finally discovered 7 days later, wrapped in an old newspaper at the bottom of a suburban garden hedge. The hero who found it was a black and white collie named Pickles. The scare was so intense that the English Football Association secretly commissioned a replica to be used in public exhibitions. They did this without FIFA's permission, hoping a fake would prevent them from ever having to explain the loss of the real cup again. While the 1966 theft was solved by a pet, it served as a final warning. The era of treating the world's most famous trophy like a common, everyday museum piece was coming to an end. When the tournament began in 1930, FIFA president Jules Rimet established a specific stipulation. Any nation that won the World Cup 3 times earned the right to keep the original trophy permanently. In 1970, Brazil achieved exactly that. After securing their historic 3rd title, the Brazilian team took permanent ownership of the cup, transporting it to Rio de Janeiro to place it on display. They locked it inside a custom cabinet with a thick front panel of bulletproof glass. But while the front was impenetrable, the back of the cabinet was made of standard wood. In 1983, a crew of thieves bypassed the glass entirely. They wedged a crowbar into the wooden rear seam, splintered the back wide open, and pulled the cup through the hole. The original Jules Rimet trophy was never seen again. Police and historians widely agree that the thieves melted it down, selling the gold as common bars on the black market. The destruction of football's first great prize left FIFA with nothing to hand the next champions. The governing body was forced into an emergency redesign that completely stripped away the old rules of ownership forever. Italian artist Silvio Gazzaniga designed the replacement for the 1974 tournament. He sculpted the modern cup from 5 kilograms of 18-karat gold, resting on a base banded with 2 layers of green malachite. This cross-section illustrates a hidden constraint in Gazzaniga's design. The trophy is actually hollow. If a statue of this volume were made of solid gold, it would weigh over 150 pounds, making it physically impossible for an athlete to lift overhead. But the biggest change was the policy of ownership. Reacting to the Rio heist, FIFA instituted an unbending new rule. No nation, regardless of how many times they win, will ever be allowed to keep this trophy. Since the cup itself can't be given away, FIFA typed champions on the underside of the base. A flat metal plate holds the engraved name of every winning nation since 1974. Once full, the plate is replaced, rearranging the victors' names into a tight, outward-expanding spiral to ensure room for the next generation. The modern trophy is physically defined by the failure to protect the one that came before it. Every security protocol and every unbending rule exists to ensure this 6-kilogram block of gold never meets the same end as the original. Stolen, melted down, and sold as scrap.